So what would you do if somebody thought they knew you had the gold that you do? Even thought they knew where you kept it? It's a fun thought experiment, huh? Strange week. I'm not going to go long on details here, but we had a non-specific, real-world threat. No single event, a little bit more than that. And I'm not going to go into the details. I'm going to keep it light for a few reasons, but we will jump into a few things that I'm doing about it and why. Now, some of this is only specific to a person who regularly talks about gold to 100,000 friends over the internet. Now, I get that. We're going to try to parse it though, so this is helpful rather than just some kind of rant or something that's just not useful to anyone other than me. So backstory, maybe somebody gets a home address on you. Maybe you don't have a home address on them. You don't like that feeling, but that's happened before. Continuing on this total hypothetical, maybe your security systems start to get triggered middle of the night and you realize that there's probably more to this one. Now, there's some obviously very simple things any of us can do in the first place. One of those things would be to just not talk about what we have. Now, for me, I've always done this anonymously, but even that isn't fail-safe as we're finding out here right now. Now, that part, that's even more important than securing it, than hiding it. We'll come back to that. But if you mess any of that up, well, the next obvious thing you're going to have to do is, of course, move it. And I think that makes for a really good turning point in this video. Now we can just focus on how I'm going about that. So what you're seeing here on the desk is an example of just how simple it is to pack up your gold and go. I've had questions on what happens to my gold when it isn't on the desk. Just how do I keep it from getting dinged up? Well, the mint tubes you see, I think they're the best option if you're not worried about scratches, meaning if that coin isn't one that's likely going to scratch. On a full tube of eagles or buffaloes, those coins don't move around if they're stored like this. The mint ships them this way for a reason. And as far as moving it around goes, 2 of those mint tubes plus a stack of slabs or these mini wallets, well, they fit in a micro case. And that would make it really easy to store all of this in one location or pick it all up and move it to a new one. So your task is making sure that the only person picking it up and moving it is you. Now, the stupid part in all of this on my part is that I've been keeping too much in one place. I'm the only person who knows where it is in this one place. Well, there's a trust lawyer who might have some details too, but this is not how I normally handle it. I've mentioned before that I don't keep more than just about a tube of gold at any one location, and you can see here that I've been breaking that rule. Now, I sold a property and I got lazy about following through on what I knew made sense, or maybe more accurately, I let it go too long, knowing that I had a new spot coming. But regardless, this has been me being lazy in the interim. It's more than I should ever have together, knowing that I talk about this stuff online and knowing that now I also run the risk of low-level bad guys who are up to no good. So 2 important points here. First, losing some of my gold, that's going to be far less important to me than losing some of my humans. If a person gets past your shroud of mystery, if you don't keep it quiet enough, you're in a really bad spot. Now, personally, I'm not going to protect some of my gold at risk of losing some of my people, and a bad guy is going to know this. Now, to that point, holding your gold and securing your gold only protect it in the situation that somebody breaks in when nobody is home. Now, both of those situations, you being home or not being home, relate to the second point, which is that gold in your home is almost never properly insured. So really, we're back to the basic idea that we should keep quiet on our holdings and not keep too much in any one place and be able to move it quickly if we need to. Now, some of these things work against each other. So I would also say we should consider secure storage wherever that's a problem. Now, I do a little bit of all of these things. I keep quiet about the stuff out in the real world, at least, where people know who I am, and I split it up. So not too much in any one place. That's my normal case, and by the time this publishes, that will be my case again. Now, I also make sure that if I do want to move it, that's easy to do. Maybe I want to get ahead of some kind of local disaster. Maybe I want to move it because I'm going on a trip. Maybe I want to move it because my security system shows that I have a lurker. Well, if that's the case, I might have a few other steps in mind, but whatever the reason, I like to have a plan for moving the gold if I need to. And then finally, I use a secure facility for some of what I have. Now, there are a lot of ways to go about that. If you don't know where to start, you can hit up Summit Metals. They do more than just sell the gold, they can actually help you store it too. All of that information you'll find at summitmetals.com. So that was a lot of talking to say that I'm moving some gold, but I think it's an incredibly important topic for all of us, and one we should have a plan for before we have that emergent need for it. I feel like I got a little bit behind on it, a little bit lazy on it. Now, some of you might not even be aware that homeowners insurance rarely covers precious metals, and that's incredibly important to know. Now, think about that. It's going to change everything you do because you need a plan to be able to take your gold with you in some kind of event like the LA fire evacuations from this past week. Nature can sneak up on you. You also want to limit your exposure from simple theft. Spread it out, don't keep it all in one place, and if you don't want to worry about any of this, well, you should really be considering secure storage. If not for all, then maybe just for some. So let's call it good there. We're going to think of this as a reminder to make sure you have a comprehensive plan. Now, I thought I had a pretty good plan myself, but I found out it just wasn't good enough. This is one of those topics that I think is hard to overthink. So let us know what you're up to. I'm not going to ask for details like your home address and when you think you might be gone, but give us an overview. Let us know if you've thought any of this through. Now, off topic, I just wanted to make sure you all saw my video mentioning goldsilverswap.com. I'm really excited about that. If you have not signed up yet, be sure to check that out. I have a whole video on the use case, but it's a peer-to-peer marketplace for precious metals, and it's going to give you more options to buy and sell when it opens up, which is soon. So sign up. Now, back to the comments. While you're there, be sure to hit that like button if you found any of this interesting. Be sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on if you want to hear more on the topic. And if you're still here, thanks again for watching. I always appreciate your time. Take care.